Alright, so welcome back to the 10th and the final episode of The Trader's Mind. This whole series has been me pulling back the curtain about what actually goes on inside the head of a trader. Especially me, who's been a trader now for 4 years and has been doing it full time for around 3 months now. I started this series because everyone talks about entries, indicators and different strategies, but no one talks much about the mental side of trading. The fear, the greed, the ego, the discipline that you need, and the emotional cycles that you go through. And if I'm being real, this series wasn't just for you guys, but it was for myself as well. Because when you say these things out loud, when you break them down and when you go through your own behaviors, you become much more aware of it. And that's really helped me as well whilst making these videos. So today's episode is more of a wrap up of everything we've spoken about for the last 9. It's not going to be a motivational speech, but it's going to be a truthful summary of the mindset that you need long term to be a successful trader. So people think trading is stressful because of the losses that you could potentially have. And honestly, that's just not true. Trading is stressful because it exposes the parts of you that you've been ignoring. It exposes the impatience that you didn't know you had, the ego that you didn't think you had, the lack of discipline which you thought you had under control, the impulsiveness that you just give into day to day, and just the emotional roller coaster that you've never really had to deal with before. That's the thing, trading makes you grow up a lot quicker than anything else. Because if you don't, the markets are just going to punish you immediately. There's no safety net, there's no HR department, there's no salary and no manager. It's just you. It's just you and your decisions. So when I recently quit my job and went full time into trading, I thought I knew everything there was to know about trading, and especially the psychology. But the reality, you're never truly ready until you wake up and realize the whole day depends on you. Your decisions, your actions, your mindset, it's all on you. And I learned these 3 huge lessons, which I'm going to speak about now. So number 1 is you don't need to trade more. You need to feel less pressure. Because at the start, I felt guilty if I wasn't trading every day and if I wasn't placing multiple trades a day to try and get as much money as possible. And it felt like if I was not trading, I was resting. And if I was resting, then I was failing. But the truth is, the best days that I've had, they've come from waiting for the right setups, potentially over a couple of days, or at least a few hours. It's the ones where I really took my time and haven't tried to force anything. So waiting is the skill, and yes, it is very uncomfortable. However, if you learn not to try and trade every day and just trade when it's right, trading becomes much easier and much more profitable. Number 2 is small wins are so much better than having big expectations. Because trading isn't about trying to play the lottery. It's not trying to get the next biggest trade that you've ever taken or that any of your friendship group has ever taken. Because realistically, to get to that point, you're going to have to lose so much before you actually get there. So with trading, you've just got to do small wins. You've got to get 1% better every day. Because if you try and do it too quickly, you're going to almost skip steps that you almost need to do and you need to fail in. And if you try and get there too quickly, you're just going to end up failing, and your emotions and psychology is just going to become a wreck. So just improving 1% every day improves your trading over the long term and improves your mindset, because now you're noticing each of these small things that you do each day to improve, and you just become more confident and you have more self-belief in yourself. Because you know you are improving. Slowly, but you are improving. And that's the thing, trading, it rewards consistency. It doesn't reward huge, massive days where you might do a 10 or 20% trade of your account, which is huge. But trading doesn't reward that. Trading rewards consistency. And number 3 is your environment affects your decisions so much more than you think. And there's so much which can be affected by this. It could be just having no discipline in your current life. If you're not going to the gym, if you're not eating healthy, if you don't have a routine, then how do you expect to be consistent and disciplined and have a routine within your trading if you can't do it in your life? So the first thing is you need to change your routine if you're not disciplined already. Also for me, living here in Dubai is amazing, but there's so many distractions. There's the lifestyle, the pressure to make it, and you're always comparing yourself to others. And all of that just bleeds straight onto your trading. Just like where you start comparing yourself to other traders and you're comparing profits and you're comparing trades. And as soon as you almost start comparing everything you do to every other trader, then it's going to really start to affect you in a bad way. I learned that having a strong mindset isn't just what you think, but it's also where you put yourself and who you choose to surround yourself with. If they're all negative, then you'll have a negative mindset. A negative mindset in trading most likely means you'll start losing very quickly. So obviously you guys are watching this because you want to be successful in trading. But what's the real truth about being successful over the long term doing this? And it's just one simple truth that for some of you guys can be really hard to accept. And that's you don't become a successful trader from learning more, but you become one by unlearning all the bad habits that you picked up. Just like rushing, getting FOMO, revenge trading, needing to make it back, ignoring stop losses, over-risking, oversizing your trades, and just getting attached to the outcome. And the worst one is when you think that you've finally become fixed, that there's nothing else that you need to improve on with your psychology. That's the worst one. Because no trader is ever fixed. It's constant progress, because to get your psychology right isn't just a quick flip of a switch and you have one light bulb moment. It's constant progress. It is getting that 1% better every day and really putting your mind to it. And it's just constantly improving every single day, or trying to at least. So if you watched all these episodes, or even one, I hope that you walk away understanding this. Trading isn't about being perfect. It never is and it never will be, but it's about being aware. Because once you're aware of your patterns and your insecurities within your mindset, you can finally start to try and control them instead of letting them control you. And once you start to control this behavior, everything else starts to become easier. And I mean that as in everything within your trading and also just everything in general in life. It becomes easier because you now understand yourself a lot more fully. So if you watch this series all the way through, just remember that every trader is always improving, is always still learning within their mindset, within their psychology. And you may feel like you're constantly trying to improve more and you feel like it never ends. And to be honest, it won't, because I've been trading for 4 years and every day I'm still learning new things. I'm still messing stuff up quite badly. And even the pros will have these days as well. So it's a constant train of needing to almost fix and stay on top of your mindset and psychology. But the more you start to understand it, the more you kind of just work on yourself and work on your psychology more than your actual strategies, then the easier this is going to become and the more chances you have of becoming a successful and full-time trader. So if you have watched this full series, thank you. I hope even at least one episode has helped you or made you feel less alone in the trading journey. And like always, as mentioned before, I've made the Trader's Mind Telegram group. So anyone watching the Trader's Mind series on YouTube, if you just click the link, it will take you straight to the group. And this is just where I do mindset and psychology videos before every trading session and at the end of every trading day. And if you guys need any help throughout each session and throughout each day about your psychology and trading, then my DMs are always open as well with that Telegram group. So thank you very much for watching. If you found this helpful, please feel free to like and subscribe. Like always, I've put the link down to FTMO and XNES, who are the brokers that I use, and also to the Telegram chat, the Trader's Mind. The link's down below as well. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.